This is the call to order of the Zoning Board of Appeals and at the council chambers on June 27, 2023 at 6:47. And the roll call is
Robert Stearns,
Nick Benor, Don Vigno, and a member to be designated at a future time.
Mr.
We have a do we have any indication from any of the members that are not present as to whether or not they are going to be pleased or enabled to run for our office of vice chair and of secretary?
I have not been informed of any such member.
Okay. Let's see now.
With only 3 present members, Mr. Chair, we could entertain a motion to move the election of officers to the end of the agenda, such that should an individual arrive within the next 15 minutes, as is anticipated, it could be discussed at that point.
I think that's probably a good suggestion. Would anybody make that motion?
Make a motion to do it.
Okay. Any second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
All right. And is that 3 ayes in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Yes. So we'll move that to the foot of the agenda and continue with an approval of minutes. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I believe at this time it would be appropriate to seat Nick, who is currently an alternate member for absent members, so that he may vote on the approval of the minutes.
Okay. I would move that we seat Nick to be a member of the panel that is acting this evening.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay.
That is both individuals who have the power to do so at the moment. So that's going to take effect.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see now. Do we have
We have the minutes. Mr.
any motion for the approval of the minutes?
Yeah, I'd move to approve the June 6, 2023 minutes as presented.
Okay. Having brought them to the floor, do we have any questions, comments, suggestions, deletions at this time?
I thought they looked darn good.
Hearing none. We shall take a vote. And all of those in favor of the minutes of the meeting as of May, let's see, is it
June 6th,
June
Mr.
6th
Chair.
meeting? Yeah. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Those opposed? None heard. Okay. And we have reached the ability of where we can go from right here to anything further in terms of what the minutes may be. Unless there is anything in communications that the staff wishes to share at this time.
No, not at this time, Mr. Chair. So to move through the procedure, you could formally open the public hearing. I can read all the guidelines and then we can entertain a 15-minute recess.
Let us do that, please. Let's open the public hearing in regard to 35 Quail Run and a in-ground pool.
Public hearing opened at 6:50. The guidelines for the public hearing are as follows. The purpose of tonight's public hearing is to receive relevant information about the proposed application from the public. Order and decorum shall be maintained at all times during the hearing. The commission reserves the right to adjourn the hearing to another date and time if the discussion becomes unruly and unmanageable. Given the hybrid format, we ask everyone bear with us as we encounter any technical glitches. If we are unable to overcome glitches, the hearing will continue to another meeting. Any presentation shall proceed in the following order: applicant, followed by public comment, support, opposition, then undetermined or request for additional information, and then applicant response. When addressing the commission, please state your name and address and any party group or affiliation you represent, if any, for the record, before beginning your comments. Limit your comment to the subject of the public hearing, avoid repetition where possible, summarize reports and letters that are submitted rather than reading them aloud, as all written information is copied and distributed to members, and direct all questions and comments to the chair. Do not attempt to engage in dialogue with members of the commission staff or any other parties to the hearing. Speak clearly to ensure your comments are audible to members of the public watching from home and are recorded. Commission members may ask questions of anyone providing testimony, but will not discuss the relative merits of the application until the hearing is closed. Failure to abide by these policies and procedures may result in a muting of your microphone or in dismissal from the hearing. Instructions on how to participate in the public hearing are listed on the agenda. For those who would like to call in, please call 1-929-205-6099, enter the meeting ID 868-3730-2659, and the passcode 612834. Again, call in at 1-929-205-6099, enter the meeting ID 868-3730-2659, and the passcode 612834. If you encounter any problems calling into the meeting, please call 860-429-3330, and a staff member will assist you.
Have we ascertained at this time if there are any members of the public that are joining on phone?
We do not currently see anyone on the telephone or has joined by Zoom.
And we have no members of the public in the audience, Mr. Chair, only the applicant.
Only the applicant. At this time, I would like to call at 8 minutes of 7. I'd like to call a recess in order for us to obtain an additional member to move to a quorum.
So at this time, Mr. Chair, staff recommends recessing until 7:10.
Till 7:10. Thank you.
We'll have a motion to that effect, if it please the chair.
Yes.
Oh, you'd like it?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'll move, we recess this meeting until 7:10 this evening.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are in recess. Let's pause the recording.
Calling the meeting. Calling the meeting to order at 7:10, and another member has joined us. So if we could call the roll again. Don Vino.
Robert Stearns.
Hollis.
Hollis Cotton.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I think it would be worthwhile to note for the record that both Nick and Hollis are seated for the public hearing as
Yes.
alternates for absent members.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Next order of business is we will call the application of Amber Wilhelm, the applicant, and Shane Lapointe, the owner, for a variance to reduce the required side yard setback in the RIR 90 zone from 35 feet to 10 feet for an 18-foot by 36-foot in-ground swimming pool on property located at 35 Quail Run. And the assessor's parcel number is 31.81.25-8, And the ZBA file for this application is number 0007.
Mr. Chair, we have Alicia Welch also joining the call. We have our final member,
Oh.
has just arrived.
Thank you,
And is visible
Alicia.
there. Such that as,
We now have five.
we have 5.
Yeah.
So we are ready to proceed. You may invite the applicant forward and may proceed as you wish.
Thank you. If the applicant chooses to come forward and present.
So if I may, Mr. Chair, I thought it might be worthwhile to review the timeline of this application for everyone, just so that we're clear on dates, statutory requirements.
Would you do that, please?
Thank you. Thank you. So this application, which is the subject of the public hearing tonight, was received by the ZBA at their April 25th, 2023 regular meeting. Neighbor notifications per statutory requirements were sent out on May 5th. A field trip was conducted by members on 5/11/2023. The public hearing opened on 5/23/23 and was immediately continued to a special meeting on June 6th. Second neighborhood notification was sent on May 26, 2023, due to a slight change in the location of the subject pool. Then on June 1st, 2023, received correspondence from an abutter, and the public hearing did continue on June 6th, did not close, and was continued to tonight, June 27th, 2023.
Thank you. The only thing that I would add to that is that the most recent site plan that we have received result is also a reorientation and positioning of where the pool would be on the property.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Okay.
You know, if you as the applicants have any additional information you'd like to enter into the record for the public hearing, now would be the time. Just a reminder that once the public hearing is closed, no information, the board cannot consider any additional information.
I don't think I have anything additional to offer the board that I haven't already on record. I believe I provided the rationale for what we believe is the hardship, and have had the opportunity to present that information, and also had the opportunity to, you know, speak to our neighbors recently, and have the understanding that you know, moving forward, we're all in agreement. So we're just here to you know, continue the process, and thank you guys for listening to us and allowing us to present and file this application for variance.
Maybe you can help us out a little bit. Can you describe for us the pool obviously is an in-ground pool, and you've got some sort of a patio that encompasses it?
Well, we do not currently have a patio, but the plan and a requirement for safety is to have a fence. So our understanding, right,
Yep.
and most common is a concrete surrounding the pool structure.
Yep.
And that is typically 3 feet. So our plan is, you know, to you know, provide that structure around the pool and the safety fence to meet those standards and codes. So that's where we are right now with our build and our plan with the pool company.
Ah, okay. And they are doing the concrete and the fencing as well.
The pool company provides recommended vendors
Oh,
for the scope of work that is outside of their typical scope of work, which would include the concrete and the fence company, which I believe are separate companies. I'm sure you could maybe find somebody who does both, but my understanding is they'll be providing us with a list of recommendations for people they've worked with in the past.
Yeah.
But ultimately it's, our decision, but they recommend using folks that they work with.
okay. The questions from the members? Alice, do you have any questions about the pool itself, the location, and what the applicant is presented to us?
Not at this time. I believe the presentation that was made in the previous part of the hearing was very thorough, and I appreciated the slide presentation as it was presented.
Okay. Let's see now.
I have a question.
Yeah, Nick.
So I remember that a neighbor of yours had concerns about privacy. I guess some trees were cut down. Did you make any accommodations for that?
I had spoken to my neighbor, and after the neighbors reviewed the trees in the area of concern, no accommodations were made because the neighbors felt no accommodations needed to be made.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nick, any other questions? No. I had one question, and that was that given that the distance that you have to the neighbor's property and the grades that you're working with in your backyard, how are you going to take care of the water that's coming down your driveway, that it won't go over to the point where your gradient at the edge of the pool next to the neighbor's property is going to take and shed some of your drainage onto his land?
I would say from a technical standpoint, currently I believe our property drains fairly well, right? That's just a novice speaking. Their property abuts ours, where our pool is at the very end of his, I'll call it his working yard, where his actual grass ends. And then he has the wood. So where our pool is and where the drainage would not be parallel to his actual workable yard. But again, I would leave the drainage and that type of build to the professionals. And I would assume that the pool company and the engineering team would provide that type of gradient and level and drainage, or else as a pool person who's spending that kind of money to have them put that in, I would be very upset and probably back in some type of court proceeding, because that's one of the most important things I think to do.
Right. Good. Thank
So,
you.
Mr. Chair, if I may add, as staff, the pool will require zoning permit approval.
Oh, yeah.
Should it be built. Part of that approval is a review by the assistant town engineer, who will be looking to make sure that drainage, stormwater, things like that are being considered.
Yeah, I just didn't want that to be a surprise to the applicant.
If there are no further questions from the commission and also no further comments from the applicant, at any time, Mr. Chair, you are free to close the public hearing.
Let's see now. Well, we didn't call upon our remaining member.
Who is no longer on the call.
She's no longer on the call?
No longer on the
Okay,
call.
so we're back to 4.
Yes.
So, at this point, I believe that we've heard all the information, and I would call a question as to the approval.
So Let's, we need to close the public
Need
hearing.
to close the public
Yep.
hearing.
And
Okay,
then you
I'm
can
sorry.
call
Yep.
the question. No, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's procedural
Then
things.
we can pop the question?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
I
Aye.
think,
Aye.
yeah. So just for the record, the public hearing is
Is
closed
closed.
at 7:22 PM.
Thank you. Okay, anyone want to make a motion on the application?
Up the motion we have for approval here. Such that that can be read. Let me just share this screen. Actually, I believe we can be able to see that. I should be sharing that now. So if a motion for approval is made, that's the language we would use, Mr. Chair.
Mm-hmm. Anybody wish to make the motion? No?
Well, I don't know where else. Sure. Yeah, I'd move to approve the application of Amber Wilhelm, applicant Shane LaPointe, owner, for a variance to reduce the required side yard setback in the RAR 90 zone from 35 feet to 10 feet for an 18-foot by 36-foot in-ground swimming pool on property located at 35 Quail Run. Subject application was heard at a public hearing, which was open on May 23rd, 2023, and continued to June 6th, 2023, and further continued to June 27th, 2023. And closed on June 27th, 2023.
Second?
Oh.
The whole thing.
Finish reading the whole
Keep
thing.
going.
Yep. No, keep
Yes,
going.
yes. In
Oh,
approving
we
this
understand.
application,
I'm
the
sorry.
zoning board of appeals considered all public hearing testimony and communications, including the revised site plan submitted by the applicant. In accordance with Article 11, Section G1C, approval of this variance is granted based on the following findings. The requested variance is consistent with the intent and purpose of the zoning regulations and will not have a negative impact on public safety and welfare. Literal enforcement of the regulations would create exceptional difficulty based on the location and design of the existing house, driveway, and septic system.
I second the motion as read.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
Well, no other comments, discussion? Vote. All of those in favor of the application as presented, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? None. Vote is unanimous.
As a 4-0-0 vote, the vote is passed, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Well, good luck with the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I appreciate it. I know this is only one step in the process and we look forward to completing it. Thank you guys for your time.
Yep.
Thank you. Are we allowed to get up?
You are. It is a free country, sir.
You can say goodbye.
And we can go too?
You can.
All right, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Chair, we don't have any new business currently, but I should have done this at the beginning of the meeting, but I wanted to introduce to the board members, Michael Stankoff, who has joined the planning team as our environmental planner. So Michael staffs the Wetlands Commission, the Conservation Commission, the PNRC Commission, Agriculture Commission. So in addition to being our environmental planner, Michael is also a Casio certified zoning enforcement officer. So Mansfield is very lucky to have 2 certified zoning enforcement officers on staff. So we are glad to have Michael with us.
Happy to be here. If Jalene's gone, I will be your backup in a case where she can't come to a meeting. And then, yeah, so it's good to be here working with you all. The last thing we have to discuss is the election of officers was moved to the end of agenda.
Yes.
So you could consider that now.
Yes. Okay. We have 2 open positions and they are for the secretary and the vice chair. Are there any motions?
I believe I did check with the town clerk, and alternate members may serve.
Thank you for the clarity.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know. I know Hollis had seemed interested in a position at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I know about Nick. I'm currently the secretary,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Alice, you willing to accept the nomination?
Well, I was mostly seeing what
He was
his
just talking about his opinion.
Oh, it's opinion.
and we'll hear what Nick's opinion too.
I would be happy to take the seat of vice chair if Hollis is not interested.
Well, the position that I'm thoroughly not interested in is secretary.
Yes.
And so I'd be glad to have motions be put up for other positions, but I think secretary would be literally not the best fit for my skill base.
Mhm. Okay.
So
Yeah.
perhaps the question would be if Robert is willing to continue to serve as secretary.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Uh-huh.
So maybe we could start with a nomination for Robert to continue.
Want me to do it?
Sure.
I make a motion to re-elect Robert for secretary.
I second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
I
opposed? Okay. We do have votes.
All right.
Robert, secretary.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I was kind of up in the air about the guy. I don't know.
And
Vice chair.
Vice Chair, let's see now, who was just with us that,
So,
Alyssa?
Alyssa? Yeah.
yeah, so I believe Hollis has expressed an interest in serving as vice chair, so
Oh, as
perhaps.
Vice Chair.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then I would take and
well,
nominate.
time
Oh,
out.
time.
If someone else would like the position, I'd be glad to withdraw a nomination. My only reason for asking about the whether or not alternates could serve was just for my own personal clarity. So
Mhm.
if someone else wants the vice position, that's fine. If not, then I'd be glad to throw my hat in the ring, so to speak.
Well, there doesn't seem to be a great throng waiting to push in front of you on this line. So in that regard, I would put your name in nomination for the vice chair. Do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second that.
Would we have any comments, suggestions, others? How about a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No voices.
I'm glad to serve. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Yes.
Thank you for the privilege.
Ah,
So I believe that concludes your
our
business for
meeting.
this evening. So perhaps a motion to adjourn.
who would like to make a motion to adjourn? Did I hear Hollis?
I didn't want to dominate the meeting. However, as vice chair, I can do so. So I do make a motion to adjourn at this time.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All of those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay, no.
7:31. Thank you.